Rob Vischer. Welcome to my new storytelling podcast, God Out Loud. With every new episode, you'll hear thought-provoking stories of people who claim they heard God. Today, you'll hear from Aaron, a guy who claims God spoke to him clearly, then took control of his body. If you want to hear more God Out Loud stories, follow God Out Loud on your favorite podcast app.
I mean, bam, it's like there. And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, dang. And I'm like, how? And I'm like, nah. And I'm like, yeah.
This is Aaron. I met him in 2013 at our church's chili cook-off. Right after the Sunday morning church service, my wife and I rushed out of the sanctuary to get in line and sample chili. My wife had entered her cornbread into the best cornbread contest, and as she and I were sitting with my friend Kale on the church's front lawn eating samples of chili and cornbread and waiting for the results of the contest, Aaron walked over and asked if he could sit with us. Our banter instantly turned hilarious, like he was an old friend, and he asked the kind of bold questions that get you thinking. Questions like,
do you play?
In between our comedic banter at the chili cook-off, Kale and I invited Aaron to play basketball with us later in the week. Aaron's question,
do you play?
Made Kale and I look at each other like, who is this guy? As Kale chuckled at the question, I responded with, yeah, we play. And we did play later that week, and at least once a week for a few years after that. It turns out Aaron asked that question because he was good. Over the course of our friendship, I've realized he's good at a lot of things. He writes songs, movie scripts, shoots and edits video, and he also creates characters to act out. One character he created stands out, Eric Hartman.
So Eric Hartman, this character has a very distinct look. It's a yellow netted jersey that's got some midriff, jeans tucked in to the cowboy boots, got a straw hat and sunglasses and a really bad Fu Manchu mustache.
Now that you've drawn a rough sketch in your mind of Aaron's character, Eric, imagine that character is a beer-drinking, good old boy with low emotional intelligence, a deep southern accent, and a love for NASCAR, beer, fighting, and his own music. Now picture that character showing up to sing songs about what he loves at Boy Scout events, songwriter rounds, and house parties, and never breaking character. We experienced this one night at a party we threw. While sitting outside around the fire pit, Eric Hartman showed up and asked if he could play us a song. Only 3 or 4 of us knew it wasn't real. Here's some audio from that night.
Even though you chew me out, when the toilet seat ain't down, I get a little on the floor. Even when the beer's gone, I ask for you to give me more, and you tell me I walk my butt to the store. I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you. And even though you're stupid cat, you get it with the baseball bat for covering all my clothes and fur. And even though I hate your mom and y'all are always on the phone, you'll probably turn out just like her. I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you. And it don't matter what kind of silly spat you and I are going through. 'Cause at the end of the day, I'll grab your waist and look into those baby blues and say, I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you.
After he played one song, he exited the party by saying,
Hey guys, I got to get out of here. I got a show down at Daniela's, but y'all remember, I'm the best.
The guests at our party didn't know how to react. In an effort to be polite to our friend, some muffled their laughter, some put their hands over their mouth to hide their smile, and some were straight up shaking, trying to contain themselves. But everybody who didn't know Aaron thought his character Eric was real.
I go out to my car and I change because I really didn't want to be in character all night. And so I come back in and am talking to people, start talking to some people that I hadn't met, and I just asked them, hey, did I miss anything tonight? Because I kind of showed up late, and they were like, yeah, there was some crazy guy that was here earlier playing some songs, and it was a full-on Superman moment, you know? It was like somehow just the Superman glasses, you know? It was like, how in the world does that like completely make people blind to the fact that this is Superman? Well, that's how it was with me. I still had the mustache, but it was that hideous yellow shirt had blinded them.
I don't know if I'd describe this as a Superman moment, because Superman is not a Southern hick, but it's definitely a memorable moment. And I've shared a truckload of memorable moments with Aaron over the last 8 years. And one of the most memorable moments I've shared with him was when he told me this story.
I was leaving a friend's house back in 2002. As I was getting onto the freeway, something very strange happened. Something that never happened up until that point in my life and has not happened since. As I was getting onto the freeway, something took over my body, and it felt like the Spirit of God had moved into the car with me and had completely taken over my body. It was almost as if I was not driving the car. I looked down at my arms and it didn't feel like they were my arms. And I didn't understand why it was happening. I'm sitting there driving, getting on the freeway, and I start picking up speed. And as I'm in this like almost out of body experience, I can feel like God is saying, I'm not done with you yet.
What did it feel like?
It felt like I did not have free will in that moment. Kind of like I was a marionette doll, like something else had me and was in full control of me. They had taken over the controls. It was like it's like my will had been pushed out of the way. Jesus, take the wheel, if you will.
So Aaron is driving down a freeway with 2 lanes, both going the same direction. And he's having a real life Jesus take the wheel moment. Except God didn't just take the wheel. He literally took over Aaron's entire body, stripped him of free will, and told him,
I'm not done with you yet.
Honestly, picturing God as a ghostly body snatcher who invaded Aaron's free will is kind of freaky. And I'm not sure if it jives with how I look at God. Initially, it reminds me more of a demonic presence in an exorcism movie than the God I grew up believing in. But although the first part sounds disturbing, listen to what happened next.
I'm driving and picking up speed and probably getting up to 70-ish miles per hour. And this car in the lane to my left cuts me off very quickly. And there was nobody else on the freeway that I could see. So I was like, what in the world? Why are you cutting me off? So in my head, I thought, well, I'm not going to just ride this person's butt now that they have cut me off and are literally right in front of me on the freeway. And so in my head, I thought, I want to move to the left, into the left lane that they had just gotten out of. But I couldn't do it. Before I could even make the move over to the left lane, a car driving from the opposite direction flies past me in the left lane, going very fast, and so fast that I looked in my rearview mirror and I could barely even see their taillights because we're traveling at such fast speeds away from each other that he looked like he was going 100 miles per hour.
Aaron was driving on a freeway with 2 lanes going the same direction. Another man was driving the wrong way at 100 miles per hour.
I just remember my arm shaking. I was just kind of in shock. It really shook me up, knowing that if I had my own choice, I would have pulled over into that other lane. And so I just know the thought of that hit me, realizing that I could have been dead right there. That night, my life could have very, very easily ended, and God kept me from that. When I got home that night, my roommate got home a little after me, and he told me that there had been a wreck on the freeway. He said he would have gotten home way earlier if he didn't have to go another route. And I told him, dude, you're not going to believe what happened.
I talked with one of Aaron's old roommates, Jonathan Blissett, and he confirmed hearing the story from Aaron shortly after it happened. This is how he reacted.
I believed Aaron. I didn't have like any, sometimes you hear stories like that and you are like, okay, really, like, did that really happen? Or you just kind of like making some of that up or whatever, or, stretching that a little bit. But to me, it just seemed believable. And I just thought, okay, man, like that had to have been an angel, or that had to have been like God put his hands on you, man. And I just was thankful that happened. And at the same time, I also had a little bit of sadness or anxiousness about if the guy was going to hit somebody.
2 days later, I go into work and I was telling my coworkers this story. I just so happened to work at the time with a volunteer fireman. He told me that the guy that driving the car was drunk and he hit some people and they died in the wreck.
I found an article by Deanna Boyd from the Star-Telegram in Fort Worth, Texas, from April 5th, 2002. Deanna is going to read parts of what she wrote on that tragic day.
2 die, 1 badly hurt in head-on collision. 2 men were killed and another critically injured early Thursday in a 3-vehicle accident caused by a man driving the wrong way on East Loop 820, police said. A witness called 911 after seeing a Chrysler headed west in the eastbound lanes of Interstate 20. The witness saw the wreck occur about 2 a.m. The Chrysler slammed head-on into a southbound Ford Explorer before spinning and clipping a southbound GMC Jimmy, Farenthold said. A passenger in the Explorer, 18-year-old Jeremy S. Fitzpatrick of Forest Hill, and the driver of the Chrysler were pronounced dead on the scene.
In a follow-up article dated April 6th, Deanna wrote,
Young father died after first night on new job. With a 3rd child on the way, 18-year-old Jeremy Fitzpatrick of Forest Hill was looking for a better-paying job to support his growing family. Fixing flats at a Mansfield tire shop didn't pay enough, so Fitzpatrick joined his sister's boyfriend, John Medford, working at a company that replaces lights at businesses. About 2 a.m. Thursday, the 2 men were returning home from Fitzpatrick's first night on the job when police say the Ford Explorer they were in was struck head-on by a man driving the wrong direction on East Loop 820, just above the Will Barger Street Bridge. Fitzpatrick and the driver of the wrong way car were pronounced dead at the scene. Medford, 18, remained hospitalized Friday in critical condition. Belinda Chichester, Fitzpatrick's mother, said her son was a terrific father, a loving man, and a clown who was always smiling. Despite his youth, she said he worked hard to support his expecting wife, Maria Lupe Fitzpatrick, and the couple's children, Ladia, 2, and Jeremy Jr., 1. Now Lupe Fitzpatrick, about 4 months pregnant, struggles with how to tell her daughter about her father's death. Lupe said if Ladia starts asking where daddy is, she's going to tell her that he had to go to work for Jesus.
So that could have been me. It places me in one of those positions where I ask the question sometimes, so why didn't God stop this? Or why didn't God stop that? What it makes me believe about God is that I do know God has the ability to step in and say, not today. For me, it makes me feel like God is more trustworthy because the things that he wants to protect me from, I trust that he's going to protect me from those. And the things that he wants me to go through, he's going to allow me to go through those things. And I might not know exactly why I have to go through those things, but I trust him regardless, because I do know that he could have prevented those things, but his will is larger than our understanding.
The medical examiner told Jeremy Fitzpatrick's mom that Jeremy bled to death in the middle of the freeway. I'm not sure why God saved Aaron and let Jeremy die. And Aaron doesn't quite know what to make of it either.
Yeah, you and I both have had friends over the years that have died tragically, and everybody listening has had friends or family that have died tragically. But I just have to believe that God takes us when it's our time. And that was just a night where he said, no, not tonight. If I had moved over into the left lane and gotten in that wreck, then my belief is that my life had been lived out as he wanted it to be lived out.
As I learned more about the wreck, I was torn between a deep sadness for Jeremy's fatherless kids and selfishly celebrating the fact that Aaron was spared. By this time, Jeremy's daughter Lottie is 21, Jeremy Jr. is 20, and Jeremy's unborn child is 19. As a father and as a son of a good dad, I grieve that they grew up without Jeremy. But as a friend of Aaron's, even in the shadow of someone else's death, I can't help but celebrate Aaron's story. And I'm not the only one. This is Jonathan again, his former roommate and now best friend.
I mean, he's my best friend, you know? I mean, that would have been devastating. I think that anybody would want the ones that you know to live as long as they can. It was a weird feeling to think about later that someone else wasn't, you know, that it was their time and it wasn't Aaron. But I guess for myself, like you're saying, selfishly, Aaron's my best friend, so I would, you know, that's just kind of you have a deeper love for the people you're closer to.
So I'm just thankful that I still have life to live, that I can know you and I can be on this podcast and hopefully encourage some others out there that God is real. If anybody's out there and they're wondering if God is real or not, like, I'm not fabricating this story. I have no reason to fabricate this story. So just be encouraged that God is real, and there may be one day where he just shows up and makes it very clear to you, like he did for me that day.
Aaron said God showed up for him that day. But as my mind flashes through a miscarriage, rough times in my marriage, the birth of my first daughter, birthday celebrations, bonfires, and of course, Eric Hartman, it's clear to me in that truckload of memorable moments, when God showed up that day to protect Aaron, God showed up for me too. There's this cheap makeshift plaque in our kitchen made out of unfinished wood. It's inscribed with black Sharpie and it reads, Best Cornbread 2013. I'm not very sentimental about most things, but even though my wife has wanted to throw the plaque away for years, I can't. And it's not because I have some strange obsession with her winning cooking contests. It's because it reminds me of the day God showed up for me on the front lawn of our church. Thanks for listening. If you like this story, hit follow or subscribe now. Also, you can help me tell more stories by going to GodOutLoud.com and funding more stories like this one. And if you have a true story you want to share with me, go to GodOutLoud.com and say, Yo, Rob, I have a story. The theme song is written by me and produced by my favorite neighbor, Joe Fry. Thanks to Aaron Alfrey Mandelack, Jonathan Blissett, Deanna Boyd, and of course, Eric Hartman. You can find more of Eric Hartman's hilarious music on Spotify or on Instagram at AllHeartEric. Help me tell more stories of people who claim they heard God by going to GodOutLoud.com now and funding more God Out Loud stories. But because I'm not a prosperity preacher, I can't promise God will bless you more. But I can promise that you'll get some cool gear, and anything you send my way will go toward the Create More Stories Fund and the Feed My Family Fund. Thank you for your generosity. And now, here's Eric Hartman.
you chew me out when the toilet seat ain't down. I get a little on the floor. Even when the beer's gone, I ask for you to give me more, and you tell me to walk my butt to the store. I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you. Even though you're stupid cat, you get hit with a baseball bat for covering all my clothes and fur. Even though I hate your mom and y'all are always on the phone, you'll probably turn out just like her. I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you. And it don't matter what kind of silly spat you and I are going through, 'cause at the end of the day I'll grab your waist and look into those baby blues and say I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you. And even when the game's on, can't you see the game's on? I yell at you to leave me alone.
The game's always on.
And even though you flip me off and try to turn the TV off as my team's near the end zone, I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you. And it don't matter what kind of silly spat you and I are going through, 'cause at the end of the day I'll grab your waist and look into those baby blues and say I love the hell out of you. I love the hell out of you. We'll probably break up a couple times between now and next July, 'cause that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. My friends will shake their heads and pull me aside when I say I'm going back. No wonder why, if they only knew. Yeah, if they only knew. I love the hell out of you. Come on, baby. I love the hell out of you. Did you hear me? I love the hell out of you. I ain't joking around. I love the hell out of you. 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 Even though you cuss me out when the toilet seat ain't down, I get a little on the floor.
Y'all remember, I'm the best.